Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another of our gold calls. This is going to be a call. I know that many of you will listen to these calls as you're driving along in your car, and many of you comment to me that you re-listen to many of the CDs over and over. Well, I can guarantee you this is one that you're going to want to listen to, where you have some pen and paper at hand, because our guest today is a man of great knowledge and depth of knowledge, and is going to just give you so many great nuggets of gold that are going to help you in terms of growing your business. I'm speaking of Terry Brock, who's very kindly joining us on the call from the US. So it's great to have you on the line, Terry. Welcome.
Paul, it is great to be here with you. Been looking forward to this.
Yeah. Now, Terry, for the benefit of our listeners and all of our members, that you are, a social media coach. You work with many small and large companies, helping them with their, the driving technology really, and utilizing the latest technology in their business so they can achieve a lot more in a lot less time. You've been the chief enterprise blogger for Skype, for AT&T, so we're really delighted to be able to tap into your wisdom. And I think today we just wanted to, I guess, touch. I mean, you cover so many areas, so let's sort of bounce around about some of the areas that are going to be important for small businesses to focus on. And I guess probably the logical place to start is just the world of social media, which is, I guess, a buzz place for small business who are looking at, how do I do it efficiently? How do I manage my time in that space? And how ultimately do I utilize a tool like that to monetize and then create business for myself? So if we're looking at the big world of social media, and I can remember you being one of the first people that I ever heard talk about Twitter. So, and I'm thinking, what the hell's Twitter? And you were there talking about this thing is going to be big, and of course you were right, as you always are with these things. So let's get into the world of social media. Where should an SME be looking at? What's important? What should we be focusing on?
Well, there's a lot going on, obviously, with social media, and I think it can be really confusing when you look at it and you're going, oh, my goodness, what am I going to do with all this stuff? I can't do this. First, we got to be on Facebook, then we got to be on Twitter, then we got to be on LinkedIn, now we got to be on Pinterest, now we got to be on Instagram, now we got to be on, and it's always a new thing every day, and we're just going, hold it, hold it, hold it. I give up. How do I do all this? And I think what we've got to do is step back. Take a deep breath. Nobody gets hurt. Step away from the computer and nobody gets hurt. And what we do is we want to look at what is it that we are doing in our business? What is that small business going to do? Where do you need to serve your customers, your patients, your members, whatever term you use for those wonderful people that bring dollars and other fungible commodities to us and keep us going and put food on our table? We want to find out how can we serve them better. And a lot of them are using these tools called social media, like Twitter, like Facebook, LinkedIn. And it really is a different world right now. Paul, I know you've seen this, and in the work that you're doing, you have been able to address ways that people can really start generating more business, how small businesses can do that. And today, social media is the way where business lives. I mean, as you mentioned, I did the stint as the editor-in-chief for the big, huge blog that AT&T has. And we won a lot of awards in the industry. And as editor-in-chief, I had about 100 geniuses reporting to me on the areas of social media, cloud computing, security, and mobility. Those were the common topics that we wrote about. And we found that social media is something you really have to do. And so we have to approach it in a business way. Putting in specific times, setting a specific standard and goals that you want, and then doing it a little bit at a time. I think that's really the best way, kind of in a nutshell, of how we would get started with it.
So obviously, one of the conversations that we have a lot is, as you already pointed out, there's so many platforms. So is there a strategy that a business can use to work out which of the platforms they should be on? Do they need to be across all of the platforms and repurposing the same sort of information across them all? Is there a clever way to in a sort of a time effective manner get across all of the platforms, or should they focus their energy on the one where they think that that's where their audience is?
Well, the most important thing is focus. You want to focus where your audience is, and it all depends on what your market is doing. Where do they hang out? Let's roll it back in time. Say it was 100 years ago, and we were getting a business started. Say we're in Melbourne, and we want to get a business going, but you need to get to know the community. If you just moved there from Sydney and you don't know anybody, but you want to get to know them, find out where your customers, your potential customers, hang out. And if it's, oh, they go to this pub over here at the corner of 4th and Main, and every Thursday night there's a big deal and you need to be, that's where most everybody is, well, then you need to be there at that pub on the corner of 4th and Main on Thursday nights. Today, it's social media. And people are on places like Twitter and Facebook, but it really depends on what you're doing and where people are going to hang out. For business, a lot of times we find that LinkedIn is a good place to be for business because it's unabashedly for getting business solutions, people that are networking. Now, that's not the place where you put up pictures of your dogs or your cats. You do that over on Facebook. And by the way, on Facebook, that's appropriate. Facebook is more like a casual barbecue party that you have in your backyard with a bunch of friends. You dress up in a certain way for that. You come over, it's a party. You don't come in talking about business. LinkedIn is more like the country club where you're going to be. Twitter is more like you're standing at a bar or at a fast food restaurant, just going in and out real fast, and there's a protocol for that. So understand the protocols for each. My co-author, Gina Carr, and I are writing a book that's due to be released next month from McGraw-Hill on Klout, and it's called Klout Matters. And you can go over to Amazon and pick that up, and we detail a lot of the steps that you need in order to start using social media in general. Because social media in general is really not just another thing to do. It really is where we are. And Klout that's with a K, K-L-O-U-T. Klout is a way for you to kind of figure out if you're doing it right. Are you doing social media right? And they give you a numerical score from 0 to 100, 100 being the highest. And so you can mark your score and see how you're doing on a regular basis on that. So we really want to take it from a business point of view and look at how can we use this tool called social media. How do we get in there? Do we use Twitter? Do we use Facebook? Do we use LinkedIn? And no, you do not have to be on all of them. For instance, I don't do anything on Pinterest. It's a great platform, and for many people, it is the ideal place to be. Not for me. And also I realize, hey, I don't know about over in Australia, but over here in the States, we only have 24 hours in a day. And even if we try to stretch it and whatever we want to do, staying up, eventually our bodies go, Terry, you do need to get some sleep, and you're going to do it whether you like it or not. So I find we have to really program out what we're going to do, when we're going to do it in a business-like manner.
So Klout might be something that some of our members are hearing about for the first time. So let's spend just a little bit of time there and explain. So it's a scoring system that's measuring your efficiency or your effectiveness on social media?
Yeah, it's measuring what you do quantitatively. They crunch a whole bunch of numbers every day. They have over 12 billion data points that they're looking at and examining things like how many people responded to the tweet that you sent out on Twitter. And what were the ranks of those people? What kind of influence do they have? See, it's one thing to say Joe Schmo has a lot of influence. Yes, well, Joe Blog over here has even more. And Sally Smith over here has more. Well, it's a subjective thing. And so what they've done is now quantify that more. So you can say this person has a score of X. And you do that by not how many friends you have on Facebook, not how many tweets you send out on Twitter, not how many connections you have on LinkedIn, but it's how much response you generate, how much activity. So in other words, let's say Paul McCarthy sends out a tweet, and if 500 billion people respond to that with a retweet, or they mention Paul McCarthy, that is going to generate a lot of good clout juice for Paul McCarthy because it's letting people know, hey, this guy is influential. People listen to what he has to say and they respond accordingly. So being active on Twitter and Facebook is important in social media. If you're going to select only two, those would be two that many people start with. And of course, LinkedIn is another real good one. A lot of people say, well, I'm not going to do anything with Twitter. I'm going to be on LinkedIn. It really depends on your market. And as true marketers, we know we have to keep testing all the time. Winston Marsh, a mutual friend of ours, talks about that. And we know we need to keep testing regularly to find out what is going to be the most effective.
So, in terms of Klout, people can just go and register for it and sign up to it?
Yeah, one of the first things I would recommend for our listeners is to go over to Klout.com, and that's with a K, Klout.com, and at Klout.com, register, sign up. If you have a Twitter account, you already have a Klout account. You just don't know about it. And so sign up and then go into what they call the networks. You'll see that there on your profile, and you'll have networks. And then just click and link your Facebook, your Twitter, your LinkedIn, or any others that are out there. Now, they don't recognize everything. Klout does not use all the tools, and there's some that we talk about in our book that we'd really like to see them do it. But they, for whatever reason, they're not doing that right now. Usually it's because they can't get access to it. But register with Twitter, register with Facebook, and then start monitoring your score. Because the score is a way for you to determine if you're a good social media citizen. It's a good way to find out, are you doing those things that really help the community, that help the social community in general? And it's a wonderful little tool that sometimes can be frustrating if you see it go down, but exhilarating if you see it go up. But you don't live or die by the Klout score. It is just one element. But the real key is right now, people are getting what's called perks with Klout. So it's a whole shift in the way advertising is done. For instance, many hotels now will look at you when you check in, get your Twitter handle, and they will immediately see your Klout score. And those that have a Klout score above X, whatever that might be, depending on the hotel, they will often upgrade those people to much nicer rooms. Why? Well, think about it. If you've got someone that's checking in that has a very high Klout score, that means they're influential. They talk to people a lot. You want them saying wonderful things about your hotel. So you're going to treat them like royalty. Also, many car companies now saying, oh, we see people who are really influential in the areas of cars and the environment. And what they do is they're active in that, they see that, they track it, and they send out a free long weekend pass. Here's the keys. Enjoy our car. And if you want to say anything about it, fine. You don't have to. You don't have to say anything good. You don't have to say anything at all. But if you want to, feel free. Here are the keys. Enjoy yourself. And so now this is excellent advertising for these companies, these brands that are doing this. Many brands sending out free samples to people with higher Klout scores. And the reason is, rather than them going out and buying radio, TV, and newspaper and just using the old spray and pray method, spray it out there and then pray that maybe somebody's going to buy, now they know they're targeting people who are influential. And then those people are likely to tell others, hey, I just tried this widget over here, and it's really good. I tried some new crackers from this company, and they're really good. I tried this new drink, and I really liked it. And so that kind of advertising is what I'm calling advocate marketing. Rather than you going out and advocating for yourself, you're saying, hi, I'm wonderful, buy my stuff. Now I get people who others respect. And they are very influential with these others. And those are the people that are now marketing for me. That's advocate marketing. And that is what Klout is about. That's how they generate their money. And it really is creating a revolution in the way that advertising and marketing is being done today.
Well, that's great. That's fantastic information and something that all of our members can be looking into. So in terms of other aspects of business, I know, I mean, you mentioned from the outset, Terry, about being the chief in terms of blogging for places like Skype and AT&T. So how important, from your perspective, is blogging to create online success for a small business owner?
I think for most small businesses, if you're an accountant, if you're a financial planner, if you're a dentist, if you have a small shop, a retail shop, blogging should be an essential component of what you're doing. Because what it is today, we don't want someone who's just out there going, hi, I'm wonderful, buy my stuff. We don't want to hear that. What we want is quality education that really answers our questions. So if I have a question about my super annuity that you have over at Australia, and I say, gee, I don't know what to do on that, it would really be nice to have some articles that say, by the way, there's a new law that they just released over in Canberra about da 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 da, and maybe now that Tony Abbott is in here, he might do this, or there might be that, or we might see liberals doing this, or Labor doing that, or whatever. That kind of information from someone I trust is really important. And a blog is a critical component. Matter of fact, one of the things we did at Skype, let me just go ahead and tell you the secret here. What we did is we would have, say, a new product that was going to come out, or we would have something new. So I would get the information, I'd write it up, I'd maybe do an interview with someone, we'd put it together, and then across the Skype network with all the various people that we had in the bloggers, we'd all be set and ready to go and say, okay, next Tuesday at, say, 12 o'clock noon, we usually did it at noon, 12 o'clock noon Eastern time, we're going to release it. So the blog was out there, but it wasn't visible. We'd throw the switch and it would go out, and then we would go send out messages on the Twitter account, on the Facebook account, all for Skype, the LinkedIn account for Skype, etc. And we would then say, hey, you've got to go over to see what's going on now. Skype now has an agreement with Oogie Woogies, and on the Oogie Woogies, we're going to do such and such. And here's the link to go to. So people would go over to the blog. So you see, the strategy is you have that blog as the core element. That's where you want people to go. That's where you put in the text. That's where you put in audio interviews, which gets our attention. That's where you put in video. So for instance, let's say you're a dentist. You could say, we've got a new tool that came out that really is great, and it makes for pain-free dentistry. And here it is, and you show a picture of it. You show video of it. You actually walk into the office and go, see, here it is. It's really nice. And if you're interested in this, call us now at, here's our phone number, or drop us a line here, and we'll be happy to help you on that. And think, for instance, for a financial planner. A financial planner might say, you know, there's a new law out about the Oogie Woogies, and if you want to know about the Oogie Woogie law, well, I've got an expert on who's going to talk about that. And so you give me an interview over the phone with somebody who is an expert on it, and you can talk about it, and I'm getting lots of information. And of course, you're also saying, for more information and to find out about how it applies to you specifically, be sure and contact us at our office at, here's the phone number, here's the email address, etc. So what you're doing is you're giving me valuable information. You become the go-to person, the resource that I turn to. And I go, yeah, this is great. Wow, she's really good. She knows financial planning. I want to get in touch with her. I want to find out what she can do and how to do that. And so you leverage that technology, and you really get to be more of a human being. The old way of just saying, forcing something on them and going, oh, here's my brochure, here's my stuff, here's all my magazines, and did I give you one of these too? That we don't want that. What we want is someone who is really helpful. Someone who is there to answer questions and we see as a resource. And that means they're not just talking about their stuff. If they're a financial planner, I'm going to hear what they say about that, but I'm also going to hear them say, hey, by the way, if you live over on the north side of town and you really like hamburgers, I just had a great hamburger over at Terry's Hamburger Shop over there at Maple and Vine, and it's a great place. I'd recommend going there. Not that you're selling for them or advertising for them. It's just you're a consumer. You had a great hamburger at Terry's Hamburger Shop, and you're saying, gee, go over and see that. And now I see this person who is a financial planner as a real human being. I get to know them, and then I like them. And after I know them and I like them, now I feel I can trust them more. And after I know that I can like them, I know them, I like them, and I trust them, then I'm more likely to engage with them in a commercial way. Then I'll say, okay, let's try. Let me have this overview. I'll let you come in and take a look at what I'm doing. You might be able to help me. I'll buy this particular instrument, or maybe this investment here, or this educational fund, or something like that. And so this is the way marketing is done today. When you think about it, really, that's how you think about buying. You don't just jump in when they first hear something. If you're in the market, you do a Google search, you look around, you visit their website, you want to get to know the people. And that's the way that real marketing is done today.
And again, great advice, Terry. And it's really about helping people to understand, there is a sequence and a process of building relationships with people. And we're just making ourselves much easier to buy, which will be concepts our members are very familiar with. Now, I know that you're a man who, is always on the cutting edge of technology in terms of apps and tools and that are available to entrepreneurs to do things in a more efficient or effective way. So, in terms of some of the apps that are around that you think would be worth noting for entrepreneurs, things for that they might want to consider looking at that might help them to do what they do a little bit more efficiently?
Yeah, there's quite a few of them out there. Matter of fact, one I was just thinking about that would be really helpful is one that we feature on a course that we've got called Time Management for Social Media. People that are really pressed right now and they don't have time for social media, but they need to know how to do it. I went out and looked at people that were self-made multimillionaires and literally made millions on social media, and we put it into the course. And one of the tools, I'm just going to go ahead and share it with you right now. One of the tools is called Hootsuite. Hoot Suite, Hootsuite. And Hootsuite gives you the ability to really manage what's going on with Twitter and with Facebook and with some other tools too, like LinkedIn. You can see what's going on in a better control panel, a dashboard. And they have a free version and a paid version. One of the things we do on the Time Management for Social Media program is we give you a video on exactly how that works. You see it and you see click here, do this, and this is how you set this up. So that's a really good tool to use that can help you. And it's you can get it as an app for your smartphone and for your tablet. So if you got an iPad or an iPhone, you can use that. If you have Android, you can use it on there as well. So that's one tool. Another tool that I would highly recommend is called Rapportive. Rapportive, Rapportive. And if you're using Gmail, it gives you the ability to tie in the information for a person so that you see the picture of that person. It finds what they have been doing recently on social media so that you can connect with them in many different ways. What it really is doing is it gives you a way to connect with people more. That's another one, by the way, we do on our Time Management for Social Media program, and we show some videos of what it can do and how it can work. But I would recommend to the members that are listening to this, look into those two tools particularly, Hootsuite and Rapportive. Now, there's a whole bunch more, and we mentioned a lot of those in there and in other places. But getting these tools are really going to help you to leverage your time and to get a lot more done. Because in today's world, hey, we're busy. We just don't have time for a lot of nonsense. And so what we've got to do is maximize that and use the time that we have by leveraging the technologies that are out there and apps to get a whole lot more done in a lot less time.
Now, portability is obviously a big part of it, Terry, in terms of being able to do business on the run. You mentioned earlier, the cloud and so forth. So what are some of the things we need to be mindful of or need to put in place to be able to be more mobile and portable with our technology?
Well, one of the first things is make sure you got one. Matter of fact, we're here. Let me reach over here and grab this. Here it is. Those of you that are getting the video right now will see, hey, this is what it is. I've got this little smartphone here. No big deal. I've got my iPhone 5, which as of this recording today, Apple just announced their new 5C and 5S. So this one's out of date, but it still works. And it's still, are you still okay? Yeah, the phone is still okay. It just told me that it is. And we can use that. But get one of these and start using it, because think about it today. A person with a smartphone, one little smartphone, one person can reach literally millions of people. To do that before, years ago, you had to spend literally millions of dollars in order to send a message out to everyone. Now, we do it on one of these little things. So get these tools, get familiar with them on how they work, get to know some of the apps. I use a lot of different apps. One of my favorites is called iJot. That's EYEJOT. iJot gives me the ability to send a video email easily from my smartphone. I can also use it on my laptop computer. If you have a desktop computer, you can use that on a tablet, and it works beautifully. So you can use that on a lot of different devices, a lot of different ways. And I would highly recommend find these tools. Go to a source that can show you the various tools that are out there, because it can really be overwhelming. Find someone you trust, and you can say, hey, I want to find out what's going on. This person can tell me, and then figure out what can help you and how you can take advantage of those.
So in terms of things like, the security side and doing those? Is there things that we need to be mindful of, Terry, as we're becoming more mobile and making sure that we're secure at the same time?
Yeah, exactly. Because you see, if somebody grabs your wonderful little iPhone that can communicate with millions, and you haven't done a few key, very simple things, you could be in a world of hurt. And often, many simple. Matter of fact, let me give you one right now. It's very simple, but a lot of people still haven't done it. Make sure that you have your phone locked, so that it requires a password you type in. Now, yes, that is a little inconvenient. Think of it like when you leave your home in the morning, you probably lock it. It would be easier if you left the door open all day, but most of us would not do that. And even though you realize, okay, I got to stop and I got to lock it here, and then you leave, and then when you come back, it's going to take a little extra time. Your hands are full. You got to put it down and open it. It's a little bit of a hassle, but this is important. This is the data. This is who you are today in the world. And so that's a very important thing. Another thing is be careful what you're sending out there. We've been horrified here in the United States of what's being done with the NSA, the National Security Agency, not the National Speakers Association. I'm a member of the National Speakers Association. We're the ones that do the talking, not the listening. Okay, that's the other, well, the National Security Agency. But they literally can go in and find out every phone call, every internet message, etc. And you want to make sure that you can exercise reasonable areas so that you make sure that you're protected and safe. People say, well, if you're not doing anything that I'm not doing anything they don't need to see, so don't worry about it. I go, no, it doesn't work that way. You sure? Because you might not want to tell the whole world everything you've told your lawyer, everything you've told your solicitor or barrister. You don't want everyone knowing everything you've told your doctor. You don't want them knowing everything that you have in a conversation with private individuals. You want these things kept private, and that's just fundamental. And so exercise certain care when you're using. They're great tools, but treat them properly. Use the tools that are there and the apps, and that's one of the things that we talk about. If somebody's interested in some of those areas and I can help them out more on that, just drop me an email, terry@terrybrock.com, and I can let them know some information that's available for that.
That's great. So we are fast running out of time, Terry. Now, you mentioned in terms of the time management for social media, which I think will be something that members will be interested in doing, but and finding more about. But in a nutshell, if you're happy to share, what are one or two, I guess, keys to managing one's time more efficiently with social media? Because, I mean, with so many platforms and areas to draw our attention as well as trying to run our business, I think one of the questions that entrepreneurs are asking us all the time is, how much time should I dedicate to this? Can I outsource some of it? If I can, how do I do that? So what's your thoughts around, the time input and management of your time in relation to social media?
Yeah, what you're saying, Paul, is very important because those are the key issues when you're swamped and you want to look at it. Matter of fact, one of the things that we talk about, we got a lot. Let me share a few of these things right now in the limited time we have. You want to make sure you've clearly defined your goals and objectives, what it is that you want to do. And we go through a checklist in the program and talk about how you know what you want to do, and then get the tools that are going to help you. And we list several different tools like Hootsuite and Rapportive, and there's several others that are really good that can save you huge amounts of time. And listen to what successful people are doing. I went out and interviewed about 8 really successful people that know social media, people that are very, very busy and don't have time to waste, like Randy Gage. Randy Gage is a self-made multimillionaire. He talks about how he used Twitter, and within 2 years, he went from knowing nothing about Twitter to landing over $2 million in business that he can directly attribute to Twitter, and what he did and how he did it, and then how much time you should devote to that. Usually you start with a little bit more time every day and then kind of narrow it down. So if you say, well, gee, I don't have time for that, that's okay too. What you want to do is you want to be able to find the time, and sometimes it might be a little piece here, 5 minutes there, a little bit here, and find that scrap time that you have when you're not doing anything else, or you have just a few spare minutes here, what you can do and the best way to invest that. Maybe sending out some tweets, and most important, responding when people talk to you. When they send a tweet or they mention a question on Facebook, you definitely want to be there. Plan time for that and put it in. And it's all part of the material of what we cover in the Time Management for Social Media program that gives a lot of the fundamentals to say, this is what you can do to make it happen.
So, is it effective to engage somebody to drive your social media on your behalf? Have you, seen evidence that it's a worthwhile investment to have somebody doing that for you, or does that create a disconnection in terms of the conversation and the personal feel?
I think the key is, remember, social media is called social media. It's not called selling media. It's not called spam media. It's social. So you want to be there active. Having said that, there are some things you can get others to do. And that's another component that we talk about in the program, outsourcing. We have a team of people that we've put together, Gina Carr, my partner, and I, around the world, literally different places. So like the sun never sets on our empire, even though it's just a couple of people, but we're different places and they're doing specific things. For instance, we have one person up in the Philippines who's designing artwork based on information that I've sent out. Takes my quotes, puts it in there, puts it against a background, and then we post that. Now, the thing that you have to do is you have to respond. It'd be like joining a country club and then getting someone else to take your cards and go to the country club and pass out cards saying, hi, yeah, Terry's a really nice guy. He's not here right now, but here's his card. Be sure and get in touch with him and do business with him. I mean, that would be ludicrous. You've got to be there at that country club yourself. And there's some things you do. However, there are other things where, say, if the country club is having a fundraiser, you might not be able to make it to that event, but you would send money to support the cause for that particular charity that you believe in that is being sponsored by the country club. That's okay. It would be a similar type of thing. There'll be some things that others do and some things that you need to do. And again, we lay that out in the course, saying these are the kind of things that you want to do. And it really works. It turns into money, and I can trace direct money myself to that of what's being done and how we're doing it.
So, Terry, in terms of the time management for social media for business owners, if they want to find out more about that or to get a copy of that program, where should they go?
Well, I can make it real simple. Matter of fact, I've got those who are watching on video. You can see we got the form here. Actually, if you go to www.bit.ly, that's bit.ly/TB time, all in lowercase, TB as in Terry Brock, TIME as in time, TB time. And when you do that, you will be sent to a page and there's a discount code that you want to type in. And that discount code is TIME, capital TIME. If you put in that discount code, the program sells for $197 US. And Paul, for your members, those listening to this right now, we'll make this available for only $97, a 51% discount. And we'll do that for you. We get lots of people that buy it at the $197. Just up in Canada recently, there were 100 people that were buying it on the program at the full retail price. But for you, we'll get it for the $97. So it's the bit.ly /TB time, and then be sure and type in the code TIME. And of course, if you have any questions on that, drop me an email, terry@terrybrock.com, and I'll be happy to help.
That's great, Terry. So I appreciate you doing that and making that available for our members. So members will be receiving this gold call, the CD, and what we'll do is we'll make the video available inside the members' vault, so you can go if you wish to watch the video as well and see it in there. So Terry, just final thoughts, I guess, around the social media and general online presence marketing, watch outs, words of advice, wisdom from a guru in this space, that if people are looking to ramp things up, what would be a couple of things they should really focus on doing?
Well, I think the most important thing is to realize things have changed. The world is different today than it was even just a few years ago. Social media now is an integral part of what we're doing. It's changing nations, literally. Just look at the news and how Twitter affects that when there's riots and when there's change of governments and the Arab Spring. We're seeing it in media. It is. And so the real key is, if you can remember this, most important, it's not about broadcasting and blasting your message out. It's about engaging. It's about being with people, helping them. And as you do that and you meet their needs and then you do it in the right way, you help people and you respond in social media in the right way, then you will be successful. This is the way to do it. In a way, it's kind of like if I could put you in a time machine and take you back to the late 70s and early 80s. And I said, I got a friend named Bill Gates, and he's getting a thing called computer software going. And I know it sounds crazy and it's wild, but I think they're going to go somewhere. He needs some investors. Would you like to invest in that and learn a little bit about this thing called Microsoft? And if you would like to invest in Microsoft, the year is 1979, 1980, you would do very well doing that. Today, the key is social media. Get to know that, learn about it, and use it.
Well, always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you, Terry, for taking some time out. I know it's getting to bedtime for you over there and just starting a day for us over here, but it's always great to spend a little time with you and really appreciate you sharing your wisdom with us today.
You bet, Paul. Always good. Matter of fact, it even got dark as we did it. Those watching the video know I had to turn on a light here because lately it's been getting very dark in Orlando at night, for some funny reason. But so we just crank the light on. But hey, today we go 24/7. We have fun and we get out there and we just enjoy life and we make money and help other people to enjoy life and make life better for other people.
Good on you, mate. Well, I hope everyone you've enjoyed the call as much as I have. Plenty of ideas and tips and things that I'm sure you're going to be wanting to listen to the program again. As I say, the video component we'll get from Terry and make available in our members vault, and the CD obviously you will have in your possession because you're listening to it right now, so you can go back, listen, and take a few more notes about some of those strategies, and think about going to Klout and getting a check on a handle on your Klout score and see how well you're using social media. So until next time, this is Paul McCarthy saying keep rocking. Bye for now.